Chapter 2. The past few days. After going home and napping into the afternoon, William woke up. It was 6 p.m. Damn, I didn't mean to sleep that long, William spoke to himself. After waking up and getting himself ready, William headed out to get something to eat at a little bar inside an older restaurant that he used to go to quite frequently. He and his girl liked it because they got to know the bartender so well that they let him buy alcohol once in a while when it was slow, even though William was only 20 years old. William pulled into a spot in the parking lot at the restaurant, got out, and headed through the large wooden double doors and up to the bar. He pulled a seat back next to an older man with a beard and a flannel long sleeve shirt. It was Carl Taylor, a man that had been going there for much longer than him. Carl enjoyed talking with William about work. He would always call William the pill driver, a joking name for William's job, delivering pharmaceuticals to various clients. The job paid well and, of course, had top-of-the-line medical benefits. Most importantly, it gave him something to talk about to Carl. Carl seemed to be fascinated with the most mundane of subjects, but William enjoyed that. Carl, a giant of a man who was a construction worker, turned as William was seating himself.
Hey there, kiddo. How the hell you been, huh?
William cracked half of a pitiful smile and replied, "Nah, I'm all right. Could be worse, you know?" Carl just shook his head and patted William on the back. Carl's attention went back to the TV mounted up in the corner of the bar and said,
This shit's been going on for a month now. You hearing those sounds at night also, William?
William's stomach slightly dropped at the thought of the sound he hears in the night, and then realized what Carl had been talking about on the news. The reporter continued in mid-sentence about the thunder-like sounds that had been occurring at nighttime. Carl then cut in,
I keep telling everybody it's just the goddamn construction on the new gas line, but people claiming it's thunder. I don't blame them, though. One time it was so loud I ran outside in my damn underwear because the sound was so freaking loud. They're almost done, though. Typical state job. Take a month to do a week's worth of work. With twice the manpower, too. Shit.
William then considered what Carl had just said and thought, maybe that's why the dreams keep going. Those loud sounds at night. People are saying they sound like thunder, so... Oh well, it doesn't matter anyway. I have got to go see Dr. Young. These dreams keep happening in the daytime now as well. Plus, William knew better. He knew his dreams came from trauma, not some bump in the night. William found Carl poking him on the side. With a jolly smile and one eyebrow raised, Carl said,
What's the matter, boy? Got your head in the damn clouds? Hey, I haven't seen you and your girl in here for a while. Where have you guys been?
William smiled. He didn't know why, but he just didn't feel like telling him about the whole story. Luckily, Dave and Debbie, the bartender and his wife, came up to William and both said them warm welcomes at the same time. Dave asked William what he wanted to drink, while Debbie asked William about the fam, which was her cute little quick way of saying family. For some reason, William knew this wasn't the right time to talk about that stuff, so he just ordered a soda and told them she was gone for a while. William stared at the TV blankly and was soon lost in thought. He noticed the TV start to flicker and felt hazy. This familiar feeling startled William, as it was the one he got in the nightmares. William had fallen into a deep trance while watching the TV flicker different visions of horrible things on the news. Murders, rapes, raging fires, wars, and then finally, just black screen. William's concentration snapped back to focus as Carl said,
Hey, what the hell? What happened to your TV? It just turned off.
William almost felt sick as he witnessed a familiar smoke come from the television. He didn't even bother to ask anyone if they could see it, and just got up and said to them all without looking back, I'll see you guys later then. All three, Dave, Debbie, and Carl, were too occupied with the TV and just let William go with ease. He was kind of glad. William hurried out to his car and then rushed home. He pulled into his spot at the apartment and ran up the old black iron stairs. He then slammed the door behind him and went to go sit on his bed. William almost felt like he was losing it again, but tried his hardest to remain calm. After he took some deep breaths and settled down, he then got up and took some of his painkillers. His head was throbbing. William took 2 of the 800 milligrams IBU and lay on his bed until it kicked in. After about 20 minutes, William descended into the lull of medicated relaxation and dozed off. William heard the eerie sound of his door shut and opened his eyes in the empty, dark apartment at 1 a.m. He tried to tilt his head up to see what the sound was, but he couldn't move. I must be dreaming, he thought to himself. Then his heart raced as, through the crack in the door, he saw a figure walk toward the room. He tried to say something, anything, but couldn't find the power or energy to do so. The figure finally approached the room and swung the door open. William couldn't see well through the haze, but he could tell that it was quite a tall man. William was terrified. What made matters worse, he couldn't move. The tall silhouette now stood right at William's bedside and looked down. William figured he'd have a heart attack from the fright that had grimly been bestowed upon him at this moment. William started to hear screams and thunder in his mind. The man then raised his hand onto William's forehead. Glimpses of time raced through William's thoughts. Then the vision of humanity's progress over the centuries came to a halting stop at a dark pastel vision of a dirt road that went on for miles. Dark green grass swayed, although there wasn't a breeze to embrace. A small broken-down wooden house stood on the side of the road about 2 blocks away from where William stood. He saw a man in a white jumpsuit through the window of the house, staring right back at him. The vision faded and snapped back to his room with the man standing over him. The shuddering whisper from the man almost shouted and ricocheted through William's memories. "You're not done yet." William shot up and out of his bed. He flew off to the side and fell down. He quickly snapped to his feet and looked around himself while yelling, "Who's there? Jesus Christ!" He fell back in his chair at the desk and pounded it with his right hand whilst holding his head in his left, all while saying, "Shit, shit, shit. This needs to stop." Rocking back and forth now with both hands on his head, he began to calm down. William noticed it wasn't nighttime at all. In fact, it was now 5:30 a.m. and his alarm was going off. He went over and turned off the alarm, grabbed his cell phone and went to lie back down on the bed. He knew what he had to do, so he called his supervisor one more time and said he's not coming in and doesn't think he ever will again. He then stared at the phone while he decided to make a call, but then quickly remembered that that wasn't possible at this time anymore. William decided that he was ready to accept the facts and go to the institution and seek help. He waited until 7 a.m., then after blankly staring at the phone, William began to dial. It rang. Twice. He had gotten lucky enough to talk to Dr. Young on the phone for a bit, after a little prodding at the receptionist. He then scheduled an appointment for 7:30 that morning. Dr. Young sounded like a kind of older man on the phone. William slightly calmed down after all the confusion and then prepared to go to the institution. William packed what little he would need and left his apartment. William pulled up to the VMI, the Vista Mental Institution, and sat in his car for a short while. He listened to the morning show on his radio for a little bit, and always did get a couple laughs out of him. William turned the key to off on the ignition and took one final deep breath. He opened the door and got out. William then locked his car and stepped towards the massive white building and reached out for the large chrome V-shaped handle.